Happy Monday. I think this is live. Happy Monday. I just wanted to jump on today and talk about cash versus cashless. There's a little bit of a reporting difference with these two. So I just wanted to touch on this and hopefully give you some pointers on to how to properly track your cash expenses and income. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jayce Anania. I am owner and accountant of Booked Accounting Services. And I like to help business owners understand their financials, help them with doing some of the transaction tracking so that they can spend more time servicing their customers. So let's just jump right in today. I have appliance service coming out to hopefully replace our stoves so that we have 2 large burners and I can cook more efficiently. So who knows when they're going to show up, probably while I'm trying to do this live. So let's go ahead and get started. If you have attempted at any level trying to track your income and expenses, you know that a lot of your transactions are captured within your bank statements, and that makes it easy because you're swiping the card, doing electronic transfers, ACH transfers, paying with PayPal, Zelle, and all those have statements that track those transactions for you. So you always have a record of those transactions, even if you're not keeping up with them in an accounting program. So that makes that easy. But some of us still use cash, and from time to time, those cash transactions can be large or can make quite a difference. So we want to make sure to track those transactions in order to stay compliant, have a full picture of our business's performance, and also to have as much of a tax deduction as possible so that we're not paying as much in taxes and we're still compliant. So what am I talking about here? When you are using cash for your business, it's important to keep some kind of log and record of those cash transactions. There's a couple ways of doing this. So number one, cash compliance is important. It's easy and simple to keep track of if you keep track of it. And I recommend that you combine both your sales and your cash receipts in a single journal. So some kind of journal, log. If you're a paper and pen kind of person, have a notebook that's just for tracking your cash transactions. If you're more of a electronics person, I definitely suggest Excel. Excel is great. You can put in formulas, it'll total for you. You can keep running reports with different worksheets within the workbook. So it's important to keep some kind of record of your cash and keep it all in one spot so that you don't have different reports everywhere that you have to combine later on. Tip number 2 is have a daily cash sheet. So if you have a lot of cash transactions, it's good to separate them by date. So I would maybe have a journal, an Excel spreadsheet, something where you can either designate the day or maybe by week if it's not that many transactions, and that way you can keep track of your cash income day to day. Especially when you have a lot of transactions, let's go ahead and total those cash transactions each day and make deposits each day or each week, whatever works best for you, so that it's easier for you to match the transactions when you're depositing the cash into the bank account and your records on your cash sheet. So let's say we have $500 in cash transactions for the day. We want to make sure and record, ABC LLC paid me $250 on this date. You write that in your journal. And then let's say XYZ LLC paid you another $250 on that same day. You'll total it in your journal, and then you'll make that deposit of $500 to the bank that day. So when you're going back and matching, if there's any questions, you know what customers pay you on what date, and that matches to the deposit in your bank account. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. So making sure to record those transactions properly and then match them, it'll help you in tracking anything in the future when questions arise. Number 3, your daily cash disbursement should be recorded here. So like I mentioned, make sure that all of your transactions are recorded in that journal. got ahead of myself a little bit with my notes, so I'm just making sure that I catch everything. Some business owners like to pay for expenses in cash. So if you have to go out and make a purchase, like if you are, let's say, a business that pays a supplier for a small amount of products, but you like to pay them cash, then it's important that you keep track of that expense because you want to write that expense off against your income, right? So it's important that you keep track of that. And we need to do that by keeping our journal so that if you're doing the books or if your accountant's doing the books, you can send them your journal and say, hey, I've spent this much. Let's make sure to include that. We want to make sure to include that because, for one, we want to make sure to write it off. And for two, when we're reviewing our financial statements and seeing how our business is performing, if you're paying a substantial amount to a vendor in cash, but you're not recording it within your financials, then you're not going to have an accurate representation of the amount of expense that's going into providing that service or product to your customer. So it's important, again, to keep track of the cash that is spent to customers as well as received, or to vendors as well as what is received from customers. So even if you're showing money in and out of a petty cash account, some business owners I see that they will write out a check to cash and they'll cash it, and that goes in the petty cash fund, which continues to build. But then they never record the expenses that were actually incurred by paying for that cash. So it's something that we need to make sure we're watching money coming in and out that is actually, used with the cash method instead of a cashless method, such as bank account transfers, debit card expenses, things of that nature. So it's important for you to keep a track of this. It's something, we don't often think about. We're out running around paying for things. We receive the money, we pocket it, we put it in the bank account. But then when something happens and we're like, oh, the client said they paid for it, but we don't have a record of it, we can go back to that journal, match it to our bank account, and have a good, accurate reading of where things are going, and also making sure we're accounting for everything in our business so that we have a great picture of how our business is performing and allow us to make sure that we're catching all of the cost and seeing where we can make changes so that we can increase our profits. If you have questions on this, you're like, I don't even know where to begin or what she's talking about, and you need some more one-on-one explanation of this, maybe you have a unique way that your business operates and you're not sure exactly the best process to put into place to record your cash transactions, I'd be happy to jump on a call with you and talk about that further. If you need help with this just on a regular basis, I am accepting clients and I'd be happy to talk to you to see how maybe I can help you and your business grow and keep track of everything that's happening on a day-to-day basis for you. You can comment below and just put in the comments hooked, and I'll reach out to you so we can talk, or send me a personal message. I'm always available to help you guys and just be here to support you in your growing business. I want to see everybody successful, and if you have anything that you would like me to go over, I'm going to start doing maybe some random videos here and there just to answer questions. So if anybody has any questions, just let me know. Send me a message about something you want me to talk about, and I will do my best to answer those. So I hope that you found this helpful. If you know of somebody who can benefit from this information, feel free to share this live video with them. And I think that's about it for today. I will be jumping on here next week to talk to you guys about another exciting topic. So have a great week. Enjoy the cooler weather, and I'll talk to you guys later.